Hey guys, Jim here with another knife overview. Yay! It's been about a week since I've been able to really upload anything. Still awaiting the arrival of my awesome new Medford Praetorian T, which was the one that was offered in the contest, the custom version of the tie with the slimmer handles. Very cool. Still waiting for that to arrive. I talked to them today, and they said Greg was sharpening it today, so it's probably going to go out tomorrow for me. So in the meantime, this came in today, and I'm actually pretty excited about this one. This is a Les George Custom Rockeye, and the Rockeye is actually where the VECP series came from when Les George decided he was going to create a mid-tech production knife. He based it off of the Rockeye and created the lesser expensive VECP. So this is one of his hand customs. And it's a whopper, man. This is a big, big knife. Now, it's a 4-inch blade, which, already makes it pretty big, but it just somehow, I don't know, it feels and looks bigger than it really is. Let me give you some size comparisons here against some other fairly common knives. Put it up against a zero tolerance 0350. Back that up. Back it up, back it up. So you see it's tremendously bigger than the 0350. Let's see what else we've got here. Manix 2. So for those of you that have or have held a Manix 2, it's tremendously larger than the Manix 2. And against some of my bigger knives, we'll break out the Greg Lightfoot Full Contact Fighter, and of course, the Bodega. Now, when you really look at it, and these are all 4-inch blades, the George comes out definitely wider, taller in this area here than both of those blades. But overall length is pretty much the same. It's just a hair longer overall than the Bodega is. And these are all going to be similar quality knives, similar prices almost. I know I did pay a hair more for the Rockeye than if I had ordered it directly from Les George, but who really wants to wait all that time? So let's get a nice, good look at the blade quality. There we go. Nice stonewash finish all the way throughout the blade. And there is the Les George logo. You'll get it looking like this when you get a custom. The Mid-Tex production knives have a different marking. Now on the titanium bolster version here, he's done an orange peel finish, which is kind of nice. I'm not a big fan of orange peel, but I mean, it wasn't like I had a whole hell of a lot of choice. I ended up buying this used, and I typically do not buy used knives, but the guy had this up for sale, and it was a good enough price to make me jump. It's not very easy to find a Rockeye, and if you do, it's never usually the ones that I want. He threw in this nice bead and lanyard. Thought that was pretty cool. Nice titanium bead. Pretty cool lanyard. The one thing I loved about this, for sure, was the pocket clip with the medallion put into it. Now here's where the issues were. He had some marks here on the pocket clip. And if I decide I'm going to keep this, I'm just going to yank the pocket clip, and I'm probably just going to run a Scotch-Brite pad across it and give it a brush finish. I'm not crazy about that because nothing else on the entire knife is brushed. Everything is stone-washed or orange peel. So there's a nice look at it. There's the nice-looking pivot. He did a great job on that pivot. There's the custom side there. Overall, this is a really solid built knife. Nice big 4-inch blade, nice deep belly. It's actually pretty comfortable in the hand. It's pretty much a straight handle on this, so it's not overly contoured like my Lightfoot is, but it's comfortable. It's very smooth. I mean, this thing is like glass. Opening it slowly, it just glides, and it flicks open nicely. Don't need to use any wrist action whatsoever. There's a little bit of a reach to get to that thumb stud when it starts extending. So flicking for me is going to be the best option on there anyway. Here's the lockup on it. Not too bad, pretty early lockup. I'd say, what is that, about 20%? It's always a little bit harder for me to see as I'm recording this because I have a teeny tiny little screen And then when I see it later after I've uploaded it, I go, oh, how the hell could you not have seen what that lockup was, you idiot? There's the titanium standoff. Another standoff there, obviously acting as a blade stop. I'm more of a fan of internal blade stops, more so than this type, but that's certainly not a deal killer. So the materials are, again, titanium bolster, titanium lock side, titanium clip, genuine carbon fiber, and this is a textured carbon fiber, so you can actually feel the toothiness of that material. And when they do it like this, I mean, it just seems more three-dimensional as it passes around in the light. Totally dig that. And you can see how he built this up. You're basically working with two titanium slabs. One's very thin. He's adding the carbon fiber to that and then adding another piece of titanium over that. I'm not a big fan of that. If it were me, and again, for the money that's charged for these, I would have much rather seen equal side titanium milled out for the inlay of the carbon fiber, but he chooses to do it differently. I couldn't tell you what his philosophy or reasoning is for that, but that's what he chooses to do. I'm just not crazy about having a seam running all the way around the bolster area. I think the main thing for this, I kind of wanted a good user. Something I can beat up, bang around, knock around, cut boxes, do all that kind of stuff with, without really breaking the bank. So I'd already had my eye on a VECP, and then when I really saw the different versions of the Rockeye that were available, I was really considering that. And I kind of forgot about it for a while in my pursuit of other grails. And when this popped up the other night, it's almost like it was just a reflex. I immediately emailed the guy and said, I'll take it. Not really thinking I'm really paying a crap load of money for this. It's not going to be a user at that point. You know, I've already got a lot of stuff coming in. I'm still waiting for my 2 custom Mikkel Williamsons. I have a Will Moon Mark 6 coming in the next 2 weeks. He's almost done making it. He finished my blade last night, and tonight he's working on the frame. We're doing a couple little cool things. Can't wait to get that. And a few other goodies here and there. I'm still waiting for the Medford Praetorian tie that I ordered, which is about 4 months out, and then the contest knife that'll be here within a couple of days. So I'm going to have plenty of stuff to keep me busy that's new and cool and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm just not sure if this is going to be a catch and release or if this is really going to be a keeper. And if it's a keeper, well, am I going to have it as a user or something that I'll carry and maybe use? I'm just not really too sure yet. Again, for me, the only real nitpicks were just whatever happened to the clip there, and I can't really tell what that is. It almost looks like corrosion, but there's, you don't feel anything. There's nothing really there, and I don't know that there's a way to re-stonewash that because of the shield that was inlaid into it. So stonewashing it may be out of the question. I may have to give Jeff a call up Tough Thumbs, and see what he thinks about that. I don't know. I have to see what he says. For me, it's a great knife, really nice looking, super smooth operation, great materials. This is a lot like the look I was going for. I've been trying to find a Kirby Lambert that was in this kind of look. I love that bolstered look on certain knives. He certainly does that well, and this is very similar to that kind of look. Unfortunately, this cost more than what I would have paid for a Kirby Lambert had one actually been available. So I don't really know if I'm 100% married to it yet. I just opened this up a couple of hours ago. I wanted to kind of do a first impressions on it before I start deciding whether I'm going to fall in love with it or not. Maybe seeing it on video, I go, oh my God, that guy's got a cool knife. Wait, that guy's me. So if I have that kind of reaction, yeah, it's probably going to end up in my pocket, and I'll take it to work tomorrow, and then we'll see where we go from there. So we'll just have to see. But I want to give you guys a quick look at it. I'm not going to spend a whole hell of a lot of time on this. It takes long enough to upload to YouTube as it is. But really do like the blade. The blade is very nicely done. Very, very, it gets like paper thin down here. This is certainly not one you're going to use to chop stuff with. And the only thing that's a mystery to me is he's used 2 different blades that I know of on the Rockeye series. He has used S30V, and he has used CPM 154. So I'm not sure which this is, and there's no way for me to tell. It's not stamped. I know some of the models have actually been stamped on this side of the blade, and this is not stamped, so there's no way for me to know that. But you know, the more I play with it, the more I flick it, the more I really like the smoothness in the operation. Did a great job on that. It's not perfectly centered, and I can actually wiggle it over a bit, so I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting. You know, fold up a few pieces of paper, throw them in there, and loosen up and tighten down the pivot and see if that changes where it sits. I mean, it's certainly not bad, but it's not 100% perfect. It's not rubbing on the frame, although it looks like it might be, but it's actually not, but it sure looks like it wants to. So again, you know, it's one of those things where I'm half in it and half not in it. So I don't know, if I find somebody that wants it more than I do, then I'm probably going to let it go. I'm still very much in search, and if anybody out there knows, I'm really in search of a Direware Solo V2. I really, really want one. I'm very specific though. I want the carbon fiber with that really dark tumble blade. So if you know somebody that's got one, definitely send them my way to either purchase or maybe work out a trade offer on something like this. Maybe a trade plus cash, depends on the mood I'm in. But we'll see. This might be a keeper, it might not. Stay tuned and maybe I'll let you find out.